Welcome to the Whiskey Vault. I'm Daniel Whittington, Chancellor of Wizard Academy and Whiskey Marketing School. Grief and joy. Grief and joy are not opposites. They both come from love. Sort of like hate and love are actually not opposites. Opposite of love is ambivalence. The instinct that I sometimes have is to fight the feeling that joy somehow invalidates grief, or that if grief is like a wet blanket when you're trying to be joyful. And I started reading a lot about grief in the last little while, and everybody I read says exactly the same thing. Grief and joy come from the same source. They're like two rivers merging and bleeding together. And I get that. Grief is proof that there was love. Because, the famous quote, and there's now a song, Stephen Wilson Jr., grief is only love that's got no place to go. But what if the grief is not because of just a loss? What if your grief feels more like something was stolen from you? Which is, death too young, loss of a job. I know a lot of people right now who are mourning, people who have passed before we were ready for it, jobs that they loved that are ending, a job that they love changing so much it's unrecognizable and they need to get out. If what you're grieving comes from something being killed by people who didn't understand it, this thing you loved, it can feel less like a loss and more like theft. Like this was stolen from you. And that's harder, but it's still grief. You can find joy in the new future that you're building, right? Now you're cut free to pursue this dream. There's new love. There's small pleasures of a good day post-loss, and those things don't lessen the grief. And you can find joy in building a new thing that you're going into after having left an old thing. And it doesn't invalidate the grieving. You don't have to let go of one in order to pursue the other. My friend Jason Souder told me, and I'm paraphrasing, the time to leave something is the overlap between knowing it's time to go, but still grieving having to go. That's the time to leave. If you wait too long, that's when anger and resentment creep in. And when you do quit, it's with rage and anger. And you lose a little bit of touch. What tends to happen is that you grieve the loss of the thing while you're still there, right? And so by the time you leave, you've already grieved its loss. And now you're just mad. Now you're just angry about it. And it's better to leave before you get to that point. At the first sign that's like, oh no, I know where this is going. Sometimes we feel like we're all alone in these moments until we say them out loud to somebody sitting out on the patio outside the vault, and you realize, oh crap, everyone is experiencing some version of this, and you start reading things, so you're not alone. Let's drink some whiskey, and then I'll wrap what I mean by this, or how I want to finish this. Sazerac Rye. Sazerac... the first cocktail? Maybe. Sazerac is the first whiskey named after the cocktail that rye whiskey was used to make. And so when you order a Sazerac cocktail at a bar, it's really just sugar, rye, bitters, and some sort of like herb saint or something like that. And that's a classic Sazerac cocktail. The Sazerac whiskey is what I used to call almost whiskey, which is, it's the kind, almost rye. It's like the kind of rye that happens when people really wanted to drink bourbon and instead made rye. It's not like Wood Hat or Corbin Cash or these like far north, like, whoa, rye. It's more like, oh, soft, and that's a really spicy cinnamon forward bourbon. No, it's actually rye. And Sazerac has always been affordable and great. And we use it as one of our sensory training things in class because it is just a classic, quintessential American rye whiskey. And this is their full proof, which they did their normal lower proof one, and then they did bottled in bond level 100 proof, and this is their full proof 125. So it does not smell high proof at all. It just smells like classic solid Sazerac, but with a little more meat to its bones. It's only like $40, guys. For a rye whiskey to keep in your house for all your rye cocktails, holy crap. Done. It's a little drier. It's got a little more wood structure, wood tannin to it. Man, it's wicker and Dr. Pepper syrup. That's a very weird combination, but I'm telling you, it's wicker and Dr. Pepper syrup. I gotta try that again. That's very weird. This would make an amazing cocktail. It would make a very high proof cocktail. Wow. Okay. That's really good. And it's very rich. And I wanted to see what the classic from Brian Rand. Ugh. By the way, this bottle was donated, but I don't remember who by. They didn't write their name on it. This one was Brian Rand. This one is 45. This one, 125. Well, sorry, I just did ABV and proof. This one's 90. This one's 125. Way more going on in the nose. Way more density. Way more oak structure. Soft, light. More vanilla is popping out on that one. Yeah, on the 45, 90 proof, it's a light vanilla cinnamon cream. And on the 125, it's a dense cinnamon Dr. Pepper and wicker. Wow, that is massively different. Not just a higher proof version of the exact same thing. I like this a lot more. Huh, interesting. Okay, this is not your time, my friend. This is your time. Okay, if you are on this side of the veil with a thing you're grieving in the past, I want to remind you of two things. First, they're not in conflict. Grief and joy coexist like threads in a cloth, sometimes showing one, sometimes showing another. Also, it's good to grieve because it's proof your heart is still open. As soon as you get to ambivalence and meh, whatever, that's a real problem. But grieving just means you're still in touch with your own heart. Second, what you're doing next is carrying the story forward. It's not leaving behind, and what happened before was not just a waste. It will inform and be made better by your past and by where you came from and what you experienced. The future will be better and built on those things. That's even with the death of someone too soon. I know it feels like never again. There's a gaping hole. But sometimes those things crack things open and make your experience of the world. You understand things differently. You see things differently. You connect with other humans in their state of loss and grief differently. And so it's not, better is probably the wrong word. You just get more so. Things get more so. And try to hold on to that love. Try to keep your heart open. Remember to be kind, especially to yourself. Cheers to you, and I'm really glad you're here.